And the reason is we have very different business practices. It's tough to do business with them. The bottom line is the way that they do business is you have to pay them, not the fighters. We don't work that way. It's not the way we do business. It's not how it works here in the United States with the athletic commissions. You don't pay the managers and the managers pay the fighters. You pay the fighters and the fighters pay the managers.
So how did you work it in these last couple of fights where you had
couldn't work it? Those deals were there in place, and you know, and obviously when Dynamo fought in the UFC, they did it our way, the way that it has to be done. And they refused to do business any other way. And we can't do business like that.
Speaking of Conan, would you give her a shot if she came back and said, "I'll do it the way"?
They don't, and they won't.
They don't.
They don't, and they won't.
Is that what they told you?
Yeah. No, they won't do it. We have to pay them, not the fighters.
So if Karatanov loses, he's done?
Yeah.
If he wins, is he done?
Probably.
If he wins the Grand Prix?
We can't do business. We can't do business with those guys the way that they do it. So period. There's a lot of places throughout the world they can do business like that. It's not a big deal to the promoters. We can't do it. It's not right. It's not the right way to do it.
What about over
Yeah, well, the reality is we're trying to work out these deals with these guys, and they won't do it. He said, you absolutely cannot pay the fighters, you have to pay us. You know? And if, like I said, it's pretty simple to look back, and the last guy that fought in the UFC was Sonny Shell. That was a Golden Glory guy. You know, there's a reason for that.
Swedish people want to see Alexander.
I know. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to see what I can do for you guys. I'm going to see if maybe we can put that on Facebook too.
If you can't put it on Facebook, you can put it on our website.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. I'm going to try to get it on Facebook.
Will Chad Mendes get a title shot if he wins?
Joe, will Chad Mendes get a title shot if he wins?
Chad's right up there.
He's up there.
So that's a maybe.
He's in the mix.
Joe said he's in the mix. What a dick.
Now you know what we think about you half the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's making fun of me.
I know what he was doing. That's your line.
Promise to show the fight? So Swedish people can see?
What's that?
Could you promise that?
I can't promise. I promise to try to get it done. Yeah. No, I want to get it done for you guys. Our guys in house came up with that movie trailer.
So has Jordan up the center a little bit?
I don't know. That's what they put. I think because he swears a lot. Or we have the same Jerry curl. I don't know. One of them. One or the other.
Do you think, do you buy Tito's argument that he made before the Bader fight, looking at how close these fights were? I mean, do you buy that?
I don't disagree at all. I think that Tito is, in his last 5 years has lost fights barely. I mean, even in the Machida fight, he had him in the, that's when Tito and I weren't getting along too good. He almost threw up when he had him in the triangle.
How much do you think it distracted him, where, kind of focused on you so much in those years as opposed to, he wore the Dana White shirt and all those different things?
Well, I don't think it's so much that he focused on me. It's just he made bad choices. He made a lot of bad choices. I think, and I'm not just saying this because, we needed somebody to fill in on this card, but him stepping up and taking this fight isn't a bad choice. At this point in his career, coming off the win that he just did, if you look at him jumping in, first of all, he gets paid again, this quick. He came out of that fight unscathed. He came off a great camp with no injuries and felt like $1 million going into the fight. And Rashad hasn't fought in a year and a half. I mean, it's a good fight for Tito to jump in and take.
Because if Tito loses, is he back in the situation he was going into the Bader fight where, win or you're done?
Yeah, well, if he loses, I think I'll give him some leeway in this, some leniency in this fight. But yeah, he's definitely back in.
Right, in the next fight.
It's so crazy. That's what's so crazy about this business and where he's at. He's either he wins this fight, he's back on top of the world again. He loses, and he's in the same position. But Tito's not 25 either. He's 36 years old.
Speaking of age, you had so many 30-plus guys up here. Part of me was going to say, well, there's been a lot of replacements, but they replaced older guys. And, it's kind of, even though you talk about the old guard gone, you still have a lot of...
One of the craziest things to me is when you look at the age, in boxing, age was such a big deal. Once you got past like 33, man, guys would just fall off. In this sport, And nobody talks about this. Nobody says anything about this. Anderson Silva, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, the guy who I think is the best ever, is 36 years old. A lot of people don't even talk about that or think about that. That's 36 years old. Pretty amazing.
How's TV negotiations? How close are you to the deal?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how close we are, but we're still out there. We're still talking. We're still working.
Dana, Rich Franklin was on this card originally, and he got obviously pulled when Mira got pulled. Have you made any plans for him yet?
No, not yet. Actually, I need to get. Rich and I are going to get together soon and try to figure some things out. That they're making a movie about his life? No, that's cool. Good for him.
What was your take on the main event on Saturday?
My take on that was, you know, I thought it was an interesting matchup. Endo's tough. He's got, you know, got power in both hands. Got great wrestling, and it kind of went the way that I figured it would go.
So, will you bring him into the UFC now?
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know, Hendo and I have had some history in dealing. We'll see if we can figure something out and get him back in the UFC.
Did it increase your interest?
Yeah, it's not that I've never been interested in Henderson. You know, it's just listen. You can come to deal with guys or you can't. You know, did the fight go the way that you guys thought it would go?
Yeah, I think it did.
So you guys aren't buying into the hype anymore, huh? You guys are over all the bullshit hype.
Are you ready for the bidding war against Strikeforce?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Would it be bad though for Strikeforce to he's the champion? Several of the champions are gone now.
Well, yeah, it's going to depend. Obviously, what we said about Strikeforce, things got to run like a business. If we can run this thing and the thing isn't losing a ton of money, then Strikeforce will stay alive and be rebuilt, and we'll see what happens. Actually, Lorenzo's flying to New York next week to meet with him.
Are you guys going to cut Fade?
Yeah.
He's cut right now?
He's being cut, yeah. I think we should keep him.
No, I just kind of figured 3 losses in a row, but we hadn't heard the news, so he's gone.
You guys thought he was the pound-for-pound best in the world. I said he was overrated for years.
His contract is up, right? So it's just basically just not re-signing him?
Yeah, I think so. As far as I know. I don't...
Did you have any conversation with management at all?
No. I don't get involved in any of that shit. I'm so far removed from that whole world. This is my world over here.
Why were you were at the one fight in San Diego, but you weren't there this past week? I know you said you weren't going.
Yeah.
What was the difference?
Lorenzo wanted me to go with him to San Diego. He said, "Listen, come to the fight with me." So I went. I'm actually glad I went. I had a good time at the fight. I had a lot of fun at that fight, so I'm glad I went.
On the DC show, you're putting Tyler fight on free TV. Now, what was behind that decision?
I don't know. You know, we do that a lot. We you know.
You haven't done it here?
Well, a couple times a year we put some big fights on free TV. So I don't know. Just worked out that way.
Is it a sign Cruz needed the boost after the pay-per-view of 135?
I think anytime you're building a new guy, you know, it's not a bad thing to get him on television. That's been our model. You know, we did Henderson and Rampage on free TV too. It doesn't ever hurt, except financially, to put big guys on free TV.
Do you think Cruz can carry a pay-per-view?
I think Cruz is awesome, man. I think, first of all, I think he's talented. I think he's got a great personality. He speaks well. He's got all the tools to be a star. Absolutely. And now it's our job to get him there.
So you don't think he's actually at the front yet, although he's great, that he can actually carry a pay-per-view?
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter whether I think that or not. I mean, he's the champion. He's going to be carrying pay-per-views, you know. Champions headline the cards. The funny thing about that question is I remember the days when people were chirping at me about BJ Penn headlining cards because he was a 155-pounder, you know. As long as you're talented and you go out and do what you do, people are going to want to see you. We just got to, do our job and get them out there and build them up. Gee, off the top of my head, I have no idea. No clue.
If Akiyama loses his third in a row, is he done?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but yeah, he's in a must-win situation for Saturday night.
Are we any closer to the flyweight division?
Yeah, we are. Maybe this year, maybe the beginning of next year.
What about women then in the strike force? Have you changed your mind? Are you going to continue to pursue women's division?
You guys know how I feel about that. My opinion hasn't changed about that. Again, there are some one-off fights that you can do, but to build an entire division,
What would it take to change your mind?
the ability to build an entire division, maybe, even if you could do one, you know, where they're competitively matched up and you have enough good women to compete, then that would change my mind. It has nothing to do with women's. Yeah. She you know, and good for her, man. You know, she called me out and, you know, talked some shit before the fight and then went out and pulled off the win. I like it. I like her style. You know, she's talented. I like the fact that she won, but it doesn't change the fact that it is what it is. Cool. All right. Thank you, guys.